Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the 2016 NASA East Coast Championships presented by Toyo Tires. We're here at Watkins, Glen, New York at the Watkins Glen International Speedway here, the facility. Beautiful up here near the Finger Lakes. What you're watching rolling out right now is Group C. These are our ground pounders in NASA. Super Touring 1 through 3, all decided by power to weight. Super Unlimited, run what you brung. Then we've got all of our American Iron Racers, American Iron Extreme. We've also got our NP01 class rolling out. So this is going to be a lot of horsepower, a lot of finesse with the prototypes, and then a lot of good old-fashioned American stonkin' honkin' V8s with that American Iron class. So we're going to give you the running order here. Jeff, start us off.
All right, John. Well, first let me say how excited I am for this group. This is going to be a fantastic race. I just know it. Anyway, going on to our grid here, starting with Super Unlimited. We got in the pole position, Mr. Brian Fassler, followed by Ray Swears. Third place, Scott Wellham. Fourth place, Michael Bagnoli, followed by Richard Cox and the Davidson Racing 2 car. American Iron Extreme, we've got Paul Fassler, Michael Knabb, John Patman.
Super Touring 1, Don McMillan right there, then Brian Goldberg, Terry Mathis, Seth Palatnik, David Greenman, David Wright, James Keege. Leading off Super Touring 2, Adrian Woloskowski, who's had great battles with the guy just behind him, John George, then Doug Winston, John Gatzemeyer, Alan Cohen, DJ Fitzpatrick. Super Touring 3, John Hubner, then Rob Hall, Chandler Premo, Vernon McClure, Stephen Latterman, Ryan Upham, Greg Maselli, Ardalan Sadeghi, Joel Carnes, Todd Burris, Eric Wong, and Mark Burt.
And in our NASA prototype NP01 class, we've got our pole position holder, Jeremy Cruzette, followed by Matt Rivard, David Beckman, Dave Belingit, Warren Sackman, and Brian Putt.
Next up, near and dear to me, is the American Iron class. Steve Nichols in his first season of competition taking the pole there, followed by Mark Adams, then Corey Weber, Jason Lacomiak, Eric Fuhrer, Pat Waymeyer, then Al Watson, Joe Bogatich, Perry Herman, Bruce Byerly, Kevin Piles in that Pontiac GTO, Jack Murray, A.J. Hartman, and Mike Patterson in the final position in American Iron. I understand we're going to have 3 waves. Flying starts this time, no standing starts, 45-minute championship race for all the marbles. Folks, again, you can follow along. RaceHero.io has our live timing. If you go to our NASAChampionships.com webpage, you'll also be able to find results from past races and results from this race.
You know, John, worth mentioning there, Steve Nichols, you said it was his first year of competition. Well, he certainly is dominating. If you look at his results for the weekend, it looks like he won Friday, Saturday, and hey, you know what? It's anybody's game today, but he is in the best spot that you can be if you want to win, and that would be the pole position.
Not messing around again. He is tuned by our good friend Kevin Flimflam Adolph, running Cortex Racing suspension, and they are really prepped for a great result this weekend. Let's see if he can hang on to it in AI. First wave now through the boot, through the pines. Here they come, under control of the pace car. Lights are out on the pace car. Again, this is going to be our big ground pounders going off first. Brian Fessler in that monster Mustang. Paul's Automotive Engineering, that's his dad, Paul Fessler, who's also out there in American Iron Extreme. They put together some absolutely mental cars down there in Ohio. Pack's looking great. Going to come into your view right now under the Verizon Bridge. See what sort of start we have and what sort of stripes that Brian Fessler's able to lay down. Starters holding them, holding them, holding them. Good Lord, man. Make it go. There it is. They're gone. Woo!
Look at that, John. They were 3 wide before the green even.
Oh, we got an impact.
Oh, boy.
One car in the wall. Can they all avoid him? Oh, John George got hit from behind, too.
Well,
that's number 21 into the wall right there on the start. Looks like that was David Greenman. He got pushed into the wall on that start. Oh, boy, this is going to blow the start.
Starts coming up here.
They're waving it off, waving it off. Wave off, wave off, wave off. NP01 start is waved off, guys.
It does appear that that car is disabled in the track there, and I gotta say, John, it is a miracle that nobody creamed him. They did an excellent job.
Why is he? Oh boy, why did they go green on that?
Well, it looks like they.
What in the Sam Heller? Oh boy,
it looks like they're going green and yellow.
What the?
What is going on here, folks? Oh my goodness!
Oh Jesus
this
Christ!
Is...
Sorry guys, sorry for the cursing there, but I'm Just surprised that they went green on that.
Oh man, and I just can't imagine what it must feel like for David Greenman out there watching all these cars go whizzing by, driver's side exposed to the front straight there. Whew. We need to get that car off the front straight immediately, and you can see we have gone back to double yellow. Means the pace car is going to come back out, this time with all drivers as one group.
Wow.
So we've lost our start there, but
folks, sorry for the excitement there. I was a little surprised that green went. Wow.
Boy, John, you know, we all were here, and you know, that's just the wrong kind of excitement. We do love excitement here, but oh, look at that, John. You can see all the way. You see right at the Zippo line on the front straight. You can see his tire mark and just sideways marks. I mean, he slid a couple hundred yards there. That was a major slide. And again, just excellent heads-up driving by all the drivers there.
No
not
kidding.
Making major contact with him.
No kidding.
Like you said, John.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it looks like that. We've got some issues there. We need to... Well, I think we may have to stop this race right after the start. We're going to keep seeing what's going to happen here, hoping for a good result there. That was quite an impact. So on the start, I see the driver is working to self-extract there from the car.
And it looks like we've got our race cars coming around. The Davidson race car. And look, Fassler pitting. Could he have been involved in that contact?
No, he wasn't. He was way out in front. This happened farther back in the pack.
Right. And, well, Fassler going back paddock, though, so apparently Fassler out of the race. A big shock to all of us here.
Something may have happened there. I'm not sure exactly what had happened.
Wow, folks. Well, what a turn of events here. We do have our safety cars out on course. Our pace car going out to pick up these drivers as they go around. We're under double yellow with a waving yellow at the start-finish line.
So, folks, we're going to go around double yellow here. We'll update you as soon as we know more, but that was not the start we wanted to see for this race. Again, we have control of the pace car right now. We're going to stay tuned here and just let you update you on what's coming. We do see safety trucks now coming to the aid of that driver. He is moving around. So it looks like he's okay, but that was quite a dramatic start, folks, to, wow, I'm just stunned. That was something I haven't ever seen. That's quite a start, but hopefully we'll be able to corral everybody back up, get him back under the control of the pace car and do a restart, but not the start we wanted to see for our Group C race here.
And, John, that was a shocking turn of events.
Wow.
A bit shocked myself here. So,
wow.
Again, you know, that is definitely not, when we get a restart, that is not going to be the same as our multi-wave start that we had set up before. It could have been awesome there, but fortunately we are going to have to go along with the race as is. The time has already started right now. We're currently about 4 minutes into our race group. And this race group's scheduled to go until 2:40 p.m., 2:45, excuse me. This is a 45-minute race session. We've got our safety crew on the scene now. Looks like they've got any possible fire put out. Getting a tow truck out there. We'll hopefully get him off the course as quickly as possible and back to green flag racing. But again, just an absolute miracle that he didn't get hit out there. Great driving by all the drivers, avoiding him.
Well, that was not what we wanted to see, guys. So that is, wow. I am, it's not often that I'm at a loss for words, and I kind of am right there. So looks like everything is okay, back under control. They're working to clear that car off of the front straight. Hopefully we will be back to racing very soon. I know the field is now on the back. I'm seeing the rollback coming down and all of the equipment that Watkins Glen is now scrambling here, the great safety crews that we have. Driver is walking away from the car. That's great news. You know, of course we won't show you that, but he is walking away out of the car, under his own power, always something we like to see. Headed back to get a look there from the medical staff. So that is good news. And we will see, wow. Well, about 6 minutes down after the green, but I think this race kind of went sideways about, what?
About 10 seconds in?
8 seconds in.
Well, I think is an appropriate expression here, John. I'm a bit perplexed myself.
Well, they are working pretty quickly to get that car cleared off there. Again, driver did walk out under his own power. That's good news. Looks like a little bit of fluid down there on the track. Field is going in now. They're going to put the field down on the hot pits here. So I think what they want to do, because this incident is on the front straight, this is going to be the equivalent to a red flag. It's a black all where they're going to pull them all into the hot pit just so they have room to maneuver all of the equipment they're going to need to do. And we may be down for a bit, so I think they're going to pull them in, probably pull the drivers out, let them cool down a little bit, and not keep everybody out there circulating on track for the whole time. That could be tough for some of these higher horsepower cars. Oh, you know what they're doing? They didn't actually pull them into the hot pit. Instead of coming down the straight by the incident, that was very smart right there. What they did, instead of coming down the straight and passing by the incident where everybody's working, they just funneled everybody through the hot pit this time. And that's smart because it keeps the straight clear so they can move equipment and not have to worry. And also we still have a timing loop there in the hot pit, so everybody will still hit in the hot pits. But I guess they're going to use that hot pit right now in place of the front straight because it is probably 60% blocked right now, with the crews cleaning up from that wreck from our start.
Well, John, you know, in news not related to this incident, you know, we just saw DJ Fitzgerald just coming through the pit lane here in that number 9 E46. You know, he's been a subject that we've been looking closely at so far this event weekend, and you know, DJ has done a great job so far. He had some classification issues and moved into GTS4, and when I spoke with him, he said that his car had too much power for ST3, so now I noticed as he went by, his car is classified as ST2.
Okay.
So I think that that is probably the solution to DJ Fitzpatrick's problems.
Okay, very good.
Well, we'll have to see how he does in that class.
Yeah. Well, it's good to keep him circulating and keep the cars under power. Stopping them after a hot lap is never a wonderful idea. So it looks like the American Iron guys are just clearing through right now, but the safety crew is working very quickly. The rollback's already there. Just started to pull that car up onto the rollback, doing a lot of sweeping, a lot of heavy grease sweep, because that was a pretty big impact. It looked like the car may have gotten squeezed into the wall, and then he lost it right about, I'd say 30 feet after the start finish, and there's a big impact mark on the wall and skid marks to where the car ended up. But that was definitely not one of the better starts I've seen to a race. We'll hope to recover from that and have a fantastic rest of our Group C race. Definitely a scary moment there, but it looks like we recovered from it. Drivers, again, wow, that was some unbelievably heads-up driving there. I'm very proud of this group that they were able to keep their heads about them and not let the red mist get the better of them. And that can be very challenging because you're sitting there, you know, we don't know what happened. Honestly, we don't know what happened. We don't know whether, you know, why those greens were called. It may have been a miscommunication. We were actually seeing some evidence that there may have been some radio problems or other things. But it's always hard because something happens and you have to decide whether to go green or wave off. And that was a very tricky situation. I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback it. I don't like to do that to other officials. I've worn that shirt many times, and each situation has its challenges, but the wonderful thing here is that it looks like we have a driver that walked away under their own power. Car's pretty good and bent, but cars can be replaced very easily, and the drivers cannot. So we are happy to see that result.
Well, and you know, John, it's especially confusing when it's on the starting line like that. You know, all the drivers have got their eyes on the prize. They see that green flag wave, and that's, you know, like you said, it's the red mist during the green flag. So as they start to go, that's really all they're thinking about is how to get to the end of that front straightaway the fastest and get that hole shot. So the fact that those guys were able to snap out of that mode and snap into the mode of avoiding a car sideways across the front straight, it's pretty remarkable. So very happy that there were no other contacts made there. And it looks like our safety truck is leaving the scene of the accident with the car in tow. Just have to get a little bit more grease sweep down on the track. We'll get the rest of our safety crews out of there and hopefully back to green flag racing. We are now 11 minutes elapsed in this 45-minute race, so plenty of time left for a good heads-up green flag race. Just a couple minutes chopped off the front end.
Well, the car has been taken off of the circuit right now. Safety crews are clearing. Looks like we're going to have to do some sweeping right there. Field is coming around again. Looks like this time they're not going to squeeze him down into the pit lane, and safety truck is slowly clearing there. And I'm hearing next time around we may go back to green. So this will be a single file restart, folks. All the classes all right together, and we will be a little bit strung out. So this will be back underway, currently at the 12-minute mark. Field coming through right now. You can see it. Now look off to the... We're going to give you a view of where the incident was right now. Look off to the left of your screen. You can see the impact mark there on the wall, and then the skids coming back darn near mid-track. So that was a really, really hard hit, and then probably about the worst place that car could have landed.
Well, you know, a Corvette's not a short car either, so that was a big roadblock out there. There was not much room. It looked like there was just almost a car width to the right side of him.
Yep.
A couple of cars passed through that way. Most of the other drivers made it safely through on his left, but very, very tight squeeze. So major commendation to these drivers for being so safe out there and avoiding him.
Well, I'm very thankful that worked out as well as it did, and I am, wow, I'm still, I kind of got all my circuit breakers popped there, Jeff. So
we need some green flag racing to shake this here. Everything's cool now. We've got all the incident cleaned up. It's time to get back to the action here.
Absolutely, I think that'd be a great idea. So next time by, what we're hearing is going to be green next time by. Right now, the field looks like they are headed down through the S's, also through the bus stop. So we are going to have a green flag next time by, but I think it's going to be awfully tricky because field's going to be spread probably over 3 or 4 turns, and they're going to have to watch for that yellow to come down and start racing unless they have a spotter who can call the green for them.
And we ran into this issue in some of the other groups before when we're talking about dropping the double yellows. Remember, the green flag is only shown at the start-finish line. All the other corners, the drivers really need to be on their toes and watch those double yellow flags. As soon as those double yellow flags are retracted, that means it's game on. So right now we can see that the starter has pulled in his double yellow flags in preparation for this next time by. The rest of the corners will remain on double yellow until we get the waving green flag from the starter, which we are expecting this next time by. The drivers are down in the boot right now. We're just going to wait for them to come through the pines towards grandmother's house, aka our control tower up here.
All right, so it looks like we will have a green next time by, of course, with a surface flag out because there is a little bit of precipitation there on the right side of the front straight where that car did come to rest. Looks like about 15 minutes elapsed so far. Field now through the boot, coming through the woods, up to the line. Lights out on the pace car. Pace car lights are out now, coming down to the front straight for our green flag restart. Single file. All right, pace car is in, folks. Here we come. Let's watch for the flag to come out and get back to green flag racing here for Group C.
There it is, green
and
flag.
We are back to green flag racing, folks. Ooh, there they go. Nice passes down the inside. Looks like the group was nice enough to clean off all of the oil dry there for us. Field is going through turn 1 right now. And this is everybody, folks. They're already back to green. Here comes American Iron. Nickel's still out in front. All of them through cleanly. That's good news. Whew. Okay, they made it.
All right, I believe that is all of our cars now cleanly past the start-finish line.
I think we can unclinch now a little bit. All right, folks. Well, after all that excitement, we are back to green flag racing. About 17 minutes elapsed right now out of 45 possible.
And look at that, John. In American Iron, Steve Nichols already a second ahead of the competition.
All right, we'll be watching for the field to come around out of the boot, through the woods, and to our start. I'll give you a heads up when they're going to rejoin us there under the Verizon Bridge. And we'll give you an update on how that all shook out and where people ended up after that fracas. All right, overall leader looks like the Davidson Norma, way out in front of everybody else. Oh, geez, a good 20 seconds, I would say. Coming under the Verizon Bridge right now, our overall leader, Davidson Racing. And across the line. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now we're back to happy. Okay, here come Mr. Swears and Mr. Wellham in the Super Unlimited cars. Coming right back to us. Looks like that is, let's see, Brian Goldberg in his Panos. He came across. He's moved up quite a bit. Let's let everybody clear through here. Okay, folks, well, let's let everybody get through here. We'll start following some of the battles that are now starting to shake out. Looks like American Iron is going well. Nichols way out in front, and again, the American Iron guys are on such a tear. They are passing some of the Super Touring cars. All right, looks like the whole field has almost cleared. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Jeff?
Well, John...
Let's do a little update here. Let everybody know how this all shook out.
All right. Well, you know, there's a couple of interesting things we were talking about before this race started that are now starting to play out. But first, I'll just give you an overall how we're doing in the top couple drivers in each class. Right now, Steve Nichols well ahead of the American Iron class, followed by Eric Fuhrer, Jason Lakomiak, Corey Weber, and Patrick Wiemeyer rounding out the top 5. American Iron Extreme, Paul Fassler, Michael Knabb, and John Patman. Looks like John Patman might be out there, unless he just hasn't come through the lights yet. Now, NP01, this is what we were talking about beforehand. Jeremy Crozet had the pole position, and actually looks as though it's switched back now, but Jeremy Crozet, pole position with Matt Rivard right behind. We were anticipating a strong battle between the two of them, and they have not disappointed so far. In that one green lap we had from the green flag until the yellow came back out, Rivard did pass Crozet. He was in front. Now, this last time by, they have switched places again, so Crozet leading the NP01 class, Matt Rivard in second, and David Beckman in third.
Super Touring 1, Don McMillan in front, then Brian Goldberg, Terry Mathis, Seth Palatnik, David Wright, James Keege, and David Greenman. Now we have Super Touring 2, DJ Fitzpatrick, then Adrian Waskowski, John George right there behind him, all of those guys right together, Doug Winston, John Gatzemeyer, Super Touring 3, Rob Hall, then John Hubner, Ryan Upham, Chandler Premo, Vernon McClure, Eric Wong, Mark Burt, Stephen Latterman, Greg Maselli, and Joel Carnes. Super Unlimited, Davidson Racing. Then we've got Scott Wellham, Ray Swears, Michael Bagnoli, Richard Cox, and we saw Brian Fessler earlier. He retired a little bit early. So that's your rundown. Everybody's back out there circulating around, having fun again. So after a little bit of a rough start, We are back to some fine racing. Looks like Super Touring 2 is going to be a battle. AI as well. 20 minutes now elapsed of our 45-minute time.
And John, DJ Fitzpatrick, you know, after changing to ST2, you can see his times do reflect more of an ST2 type of time than ST3. ST3, they're all running about 202 plus. DJ Fitzpatrick out there running under 2, 159.854. So, look, even though he's in ST2, he is still dominating out there. Just under a second in front of the next fastest driver, which would be Adrian Lostowski with a 2-minute flat, .504. So about 0.8 faster there.
There goes the overall leader across the start-finish line once again, putting on a bit of a clinic. Good Lord. I think he has almost got a minute. Not a minute, but let's see. What's your bet? I'm going to say a minute.
I mean, well,
let's watch. We'll get. Hold on. We'll get the interval here in a minute. I'm going to say it's a minute. Ah, shoot! Only 22 seconds.
Only 22 seconds, John. Seconds. I mean, he's got a ways
after 2 laps. After 2 laps. Well, you want to lay some money on it?
Well, you know, John, I think your term putting on a clinic could be taken quite literally here. I think he has time to pull over, give a seminar, get back in the car, and maybe still win.
Yeah, pull over, have a smoke and a pancake, and then right back in the car.
And you know, definitely Davidson Racing out there knows what to do with his hands.
And they are dominating, that is for sure. Definitely waking up in the morning with some excellence there. Davidson Racing putting on a dominating performance thus far in Super Unlimited. Let's see, we're looking for American Iron Field to come around. I can hear some V8s. They should be through any minute. Let's see, I think here comes our American Iron. Yep, there's Steve Nichols out in front.
And a good race shaping up there in American Iron. Looks like the nearest competitors are Corey Weber and Eric Fuhrer, not too far back.
And folks, unfortunately, it looks like we have a little bit of a problem that has just developed into the S's. This is darn it. I think we're going to go double yellow again.
Well, you know, we'll take the green flag laps where we can get them. These have certainly been a few good ones. And Steve Nichols, that American Iron battle for top 3 there is quite a tight one. Steve Nichols not running away just quite as much as he was on days previous, which is just fine. That leads to more excitement on the racetrack for us, which we certainly don't mind. Excitement of the good kind, of course. You know, some slicing and dicing out there. So Steve Nichols only a little over a half second in front of Eric Fuhrer, with Corey Weber just about a second behind him. So it's anybody's game still in American Iron. And as John mentioned, unfortunately, we may be going double yellow here, but, you know, folks, we've got plenty of time left in the session. 23 minutes elapsed. There is a good chance that we will see more green flag racing in this session. I certainly hope we do. And, you know, while we're waiting for this possible double yellow situation to unfold here, I want to look to the NP01 class. Just saw Crozet come by the last time. He's built up a 1-second lead now over Matt Rivard. Matt Rivard 5 seconds back to David Beckman in third. Brian Putt 19 seconds behind him, so quite a big spread across the NP01 class. But Crozet and Rivard still on the same second, still running relatively close to each other, enough to where we could have some heads-up racing between the two of them, and definitely look for that as the session wears on.
Well, it's been quite a battle between Blaskowski and John George in that Cobra. 2 very different cars, but those two have been going at each other all weekend. Now DJ Fitzpatrick joining the mix. I got to tell you, I am just so darned impressed by Steve Nichols coming out in his first season. We're going double yellow again. Just heard over the control frequency. Gosh darn it, that is really just killing me there. We are going double yellow again. Unfortunately, we have a car that did whack into a wall and is in not a great location, so they're going to go get that car now. And our pace cars are up and going. Hopefully they can catch the leader coming by very soon. There he is, just down the front straight now. Pace car is out. Pace car should be headed out here any minute.
Well, John, we hate to see these double yellows happening all the time out here. I hate to see these guys losing green flag racing time, but it sure beats the old banderas rojas.
Oh, no doubt.
We don't want to see that. And fortunately, we have not seen one yet today. Knock on wood that we won't.
All right, folks. Well, we are still waiting to see what's going to happen there. I know the crews are going to get out there as quick as they can, try to clear the course. Jeff, why don't you give us a rundown of all the different classes right now?
Certainly, John. Well, starting with American Iron, we got Steve Nichols out front with about a half-second lead over Eric Fuhrer, Corey Weber in third, Jason Lakomiak in fourth, Patrick Wiemeyer in fifth place. American Iron Extreme, we got Paul Fassler first, Michael Knabb second, and John Patman in third. In NP01, Jeremy Crozet still holding down the first place spot with Matt Rivard close behind, David Beckman in third place. In ST1, Brian Goldberg in the Panos out there in front, followed by Don McMillan in second, Terry Mathis in third. In Super Touring 2, DJ Fitzpatrick leading the way in front of Adrian Lostowski, second place, and in third place, John George. ST3, we've got Rob Hall leading, followed by John Hubner and Chandler Primo. Super Unlimited, of course, is still being led by the Davidson Racing car, who last time by, John, kept coming up on your 1 minute mark there.
Aww,
51 seconds, although
that
is going to be reduced now because of this double yellow. But Ray Swears in second place and Michael Bagnoli in third place. Super Unlimited. That's where we're at right now, John. We've got about 27 minutes on the clock, so we are over the halfway mark here, creeping up on the 2/3 mark.
Well,
high hopes that we still will have a couple of green laps before this session is over.
I tell you what, Jeff, I had high hopes here for this race, and I'm, sometimes, what is it that Sam Elliott says in The Big Lebowski? Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you.
Do you have to use so many curse words, dude?
Well, I tell you what, looks like the bar has had his way with us today in the Group C race, and we're proud of our drivers for keeping their heads about them in that start. We are down now just for a simple spin into backing into a wall. So these crews have been working hard. Safety crews, I think it's going to owe them quite a bit of frosty beverage this evening because they have been working hard and working fast as they can to try and get everything done. Safety crews on site now of that car that is at the beginning of the S's. Hopefully they can get that resolved very quickly for us.
And John, unlike our schedule previously today, we do have another race coming up right after this one. We've got a course check, says here, time permitting. I imagine with all the excitement we've had out there.
Time shall not permit.
Time shall not permit. And, I imagine they will have plenty of chance to check the course while they're cleaning up this car right now. But we will be moving on to our final race of the day. That will be the Group E Championship race for all the marbles. That's, of course, our HPD Honda Challenge, PTB through F, Camaro Mustang Challenge, and the Spec Iron classes. So those will be coming up, scheduled to start at 2:55 p.m. But again, folks, we'll have to see how that unfolds. My best advice is to stay tuned. And you know what? Just want to send a big thank you and shout out to all of you fans out there watching out in the interwebs. We really appreciate you guys listening to us. If not, we'd just be spitting out into nothing here. It's great that everybody's watching. We've seen the numbers and seen your comments on our page, and we really appreciate everything. We love hearing feedback from you guys, so keep watching and keep commenting. Thank you very much. Also, if you're out here at the track listening to us live, if you're taking social media pictures and Snapchats, videos, Facebooks, things like that, be sure you give us a tag at NASA Pro Racing on Instagram, and you can always hashtag NASA Champs. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'm Funky Cold Subpoena. Check me out. Throw in a little personal plug there.
Funky Cold Subpoena?
That is my Instagram name, sir.
Good Lord.
I served someone once.
So we're hearing right now over the frequency that the Might be a problem with one of the American Iron Extreme cars. Looks like Michael Knabb may be having a little wobbly wheel, so he may be out soon. Hard to do. Survive a 45-minute championship race in one of these big high horsepower cars. Every component has to be fresh. We were seeing earlier, John George had cracked a brake rotor clean through the hat, and so he was having to scramble a little bit to get some brakes put together that would make it through this race, and he's probably seeing these double yellows as a godsend. He was looking forward to that battle with Adrian Waslowski. Of course, DJ Fitzpatrick came into the ST2 mix and is now out in front of both of them.
And, well, you know, fortunately for Michael Knabb out there, John, there are only 3 cars in the AIX class, so he is still guaranteed a podium. And, you know, it looks like John Patman is already out of the AIX class, so, you know, if Michael Knabb goes in now, he's going to keep his second position. Looking now to our time. Again, we have just passed the 30-minute mark. We're just about to 32 minutes here, folks, so the chances of our green flag racing are dwindling here. We do still have 15 scheduled minutes left in this race, so hopefully we'll use them.
So we're able to hear that they have the rollback getting ready to move that car. That's awfully good news. Well, okay, 32 left. They're circulating right now. They're just coming to start finish. We know it takes about 5 minutes right in there circulating per lap. Green, white checker or green checker? What do you think?
Well, you know what, John? You've been the successful predictor here today, so I'd say whatever you say probably is a better clue as to what's actually going to happen. But, you know, boy, I'd say we've got enough time left here. If we do go green, I'm anticipating a green-white checker, not just a straight green checker. At least maybe that's wishful thinking. That's what I'd like to see. You know, in fact, I'd like to see green and then maybe a few laps later a white and then a checker.
Tell you what, I'll bet you a bag of cheese curds that it goes my way.
All right. You got it. You know, I heard that the cheese curds out here at Watkins Glen International are quite good.
All right, well, we'll be visiting the snack shack afterwards, but we're hoping to go back green, green, green. Hopefully, well, if Jeff's right, I would rather see Jeff's prediction come true. Green, white checker, that at least get a little bit of mileage there. Might be green checker. I'm going to go with green checker. They're working, man, these crews are working hard, and they're working so fast to try and get things done here. They have the rollback out there, and it looks like they are working as hard as they can to get that car loaded without any damage to it.
Well, you're 2 for 2 on your prediction so far, John. So
I'm going to go green checker. I'm sticking with green checker.
I think that you know, you just might be right, but hey, wishful thinking. Hopefully, we'll get one extra lap in there.
We will see. We will see. Again, this is Group C, folks. Our ground pounders, Super Touring 1, 2, and 3. Super Duper Unlimited. Then we've got American Iron Extreme, and of course, the NASA prototype class NP01. And it's interesting, you know, of the NASA prototypes, you know, we haven't talked about our good friend Dave Bellingett, but he is also one of the NASA prototypes, and he is also an official with us. So, you know, I think that says something. If three NASA officials are racing these cars, the founder of NASA has bought one. So they might be all right, eh?
I think so, John. And you know, it looks as though one of the designers of the car may end up being the very first champion.
Hey, no. Stop that. We don't want to make predictions right now.
Well, you know, hey, you're right. It is anybody's game.
Yeah.
But right now, the way things are going, Crisette is in the lead.
Let us not offend the fates. Let us not offend them. Look, if I wasn't so into Volkswagen Beetles, I'd have myself an NP01. Because apparently even a big gorilla like me can fit in them without the use of Crisco.
Well, that is a benefit because, you know, when you use the Crisco on a really hot day, it turns into a deep fryer in there.
Well, only if you're wearing enough Gold Bond. All right, folks. Looks like they have extracted successfully off the racing surface. So, okay, how much we got left, Jeff?
Let's see here. We are 35 minutes elapsed, so 10 minutes officially on the clock.
Where are they?
9.5.
Okay.
So this is really going to come down to the wire here. We can see our safety vehicles leaving the S's there, fortunately.
Okay, and there on the backside, we might get 2 laps in. We might get 2.
It would be nice. But of course, we do have some more excellent racing coming up today. Again, our HPD Honda Challenge, PTB through F, Camaro Mustang Challenge, and Spec Iron classes are coming up next. And that should be an excellent group. The HPD Challenge especially, quite a group of drivers. Always an exciting time with the Honda Challenge.
Going to be a heck of a race there. H2 wide open, H1 wide open. Spec Iron, of course, CMC coming up next. Also Performance Touring. That will be our final race. CMC, one of NASA's oldest classes, Camaro Mustang Challenge. But still very vibrant. And boy, you can pick up an SN95 or a third gen. Actually, it's getting hard to find a third gen Camaro that's not completely roached out.
Yeah.
But some of these cars have been race cars for going on 20 years, which ages me a little bit, but it's impressive.
Well, you know, that just goes to show, John, that NASA really, over the years, has had a lot of really brilliant classes, CMC especially. You know, the age-old battle between Camaros and Mustangs, you know, it's something that's been going on since the dawn of time, and really smart of NASA to, hey, put them on the track together. Let's duke it out. Let's call it once and for all. But, you know, it's not once and for all because we do the championship every year.
True.
So
True.
Whether the Mustang or the Camaro will come out on top this year, who knows?
Lights out on the pace car. We're going to go green this time by with, let's see, 8 minutes remaining. Okay, might be green, white checker.
That's a couple laps.
That's what
a
I'm
few
hoping.
laps, yeah. At 2 minutes apiece, you know, we could maybe get 2 in there.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And look at that, an NP01.
Green and white. Unfortunately, I was right. Oh, wow. Big moves. Wow. So everybody knows they got to get it done on this lap.
That's right, and so there's going to be some hard racing going on here, John. You
Oh,
can see
wow.
there go the NP01s, Crisette and Rivard now. With the other cars passing them, they're going to be
Wow.
next to each other.
Look at ST2 over here coming into the S's. They just absolutely goal-posted a slower car. All 3 of the front runners in ST2. They literally made a goalpost.
That was that Thunder Roadster we saw out there.
Aye. Wow. Totally Meshuggah. Woo. I'm loving it. All right, folks, we are following the action now. Roman Weisman guiding us through the corners with his fingers of steel here on the... Oh, no, that was Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick and Waskowski. Right there, they collided. Our 2 leaders in ST2 in the bus stop. We saw it right there on the feed.
Goodness.
Oh,
well,
good.
you know, we mentioned what a good fight John George has put up so far this weekend.
And he's going to walk it. Yeah, he might walk away with it.
He just might walk away with it. Now, also another news, you know, we were just mentioning one of our staff members and one of our esteemed drivers, Dave Belingit. Unfortunately, he has pulled off in his NP01 prototype. And that is going to be the race for Dave Belingit.
Wow. Yep, that was Fitzpatrick and Waskowski getting together. We're hearing a confirmation of that. So John George, just by hanging out and being a cool guy and cool-headed and being right there, he might take home the win. I'm proud of him. Boy, he's one of our favorite racers, been around forever. If John George gets it, hey, I'm a happy guy. But I'm disappointed to see ST2 go that way.
Yeah, you know,
DJ
DJ
All right,
Fitzpatrick.
checkers.
All right, here we are. Davidson Racing, of course,
Jeez.
across the line
Okay,
first.
But we didn't get my 1 minute. Okay. I can live with that.
51 seconds, John. It was close enough. He almost had a minute.
Almost
yeah.
had a minute.
In fact, I bet you in between there and when he came around, it probably crested a minute.
There's John George.
All right, and look at that.
All
John
right.
George
I
taking
will
the
be
win
darned.
for ST2.
Boy, never call it out. Just never call it until it's over with, right? Wow. Just wow.
Now,
All right, where's American Iron? I want to see how Steve Nichols did. Uh-oh. All right, folks. Well, That was way too much drama for me. I like excitement. You know, I always use the phrase, you paid for the whole seat, but you're only going to use the edge of it. And on this one, I was not sitting for quite a while, and I am on the edge of my seat.
Well, you know, John, that was the wrong type of excitement, though. You know, we all do enjoy some excitement, but again, you know, we like to see heads-up racing and good passes, tight battles, things like that. Crashes, not quite so much.
Not quite so much. Well, looks like the entire field has come through for us. So let's go ahead and run down the order for you. Let's start with American Iron. Hey, guess who?
Steve Nichols up front there.
Steve Nichols with that flim-flam speed under the hood. Then Eric Fuhrer and Corey Weber. That's your podium for American Iron. Then Jason Lakomiak, Mark Adams, Pat Waymeyer, Joe Bogatich, Bruce Byerly, Al Watson, A.J. Hartman, Perry Herman, Kevin Piles, and Jack Murray. AI Extreme, Paul Fessler, Michael Knabb, and John Patman.
In NP01, look at this, John. Matt Rivard, while we weren't looking, snuck in there and took the win. Looks like Warren Sackman in second place, David Beckman in third, and Crozet all the way back in fourth place. So something going on out there. P5 goes to Brian Putt, and sixth place goes to Dave Belingett.
Super Touring 1, Don McMillan with the win, then Brian Goldberg, Terry Mathis, Seth Palatnik, David Wright, James Keege, and David Greenman.
And look at this, John. ST2, John George did take the win, but that incident did not affect the other guys too badly. DJ Fitzpatrick still on the podium, as well as Adrian Lostowski. Whoa, getting tongue-tied here. Adrian Lostowski. John Gatzmeyer in fourth place, and Doug Winston in fifth.
Super Touring 3, Mark Burt with the win, followed by Eric Wong, Vernon McClure, Chandler Premo, John Hubner, Stephen Latterman, Ryan Upham, Greg Maselli, Rob Hall, and Joel Carnes. And we'll finish out with Super Unlimited. Davidson Racing taking the win, followed by Racewares, Michael Bagnoli, Richard Cox, Scott Willem, and then Brian Fessler. So that's the end of Group C, folks. Way too much excitement for these two guys in the booth. We are sweating and we are worn out after that one. I tell you, that was a bit too much excitement, but